Hello everyone and welcome. I'm going to be showing you a tutorial on how to create fashion masks in a variety of prints. This is an example of one that I already have completed. I'm also going to be showing you the tools and the supplies that you need to recreate the mask. This is my business card. I'll show you more of that later. So let's go ahead and get started on what you are going to need for this tutorial. First, you're going to need your pattern. Your mask pattern. I pinned the pattern to take out the ease. This mask actually has darts on both sides, but the pattern that I'm creating today will not. So I've gone ahead and pinned the excess out of that. You're going to need your elastic strip, which is 6 inches. I have black and pink elastic. You also want to get thread that's going to match the project that you're working on. Your thread doesn't have to be so matchy because you're not going to see it, but you do want to get something that's going to be close to the color or pattern that you're working on. You're also going to want to get some thank you cards or a special note that you can put inside your packaging. I just have these special thank you cards that I also include a disclaimer that says, in no way do the masks prevent against any viral diseases, but they are machine washable and they are fashionable. And I do believe that some protection is better than no protection. You're also going to want to have your pins and your lining material. You can either line with a satin, which is softer on the face, or you can use a cotton material such as muslin or just a regular 100% cotton. You're also going to need interfacing to iron onto your outer material, and you also want to choose a variety of different prints for your clients to choose from when ordering masks from you. So this is my variety of prints that I have so far. I do have new prints coming in. This print is also the print that I've made for this mask. This is our business card. We are at Jasmine Rene Studio, located at 3982 Mayfield Road, Cleveland Heights, Ohio, 44121. It has our studio hours as well as our phone number, and you can also see our social media and our website. Once we are able to reopen our business after the COVID-19 virus dissipates, we would love to see new customers and new faces. If you would like to, you can go visit our website and see our portfolio and all the things that we have done so far. Don't forget you're going to also need your scissors to cut everything out, and let's get started. So I'm going to start off with the first pattern. I'm going to have it go vertically instead of horizontally. I grab my pattern. I'm going to place it on the furthest corner. This is on a fold, but it's okay because we're not going to actually use a fold. So you place it there. You're going to put some pins down. So after you have it pinned down in a couple of places so it doesn't move, you want to start cutting it out. So I am just cutting out my pattern. So this is what it should look like when you cut it out. And since I have more than one order of these, it's going to be so cute. I'm actually going to cut out 2. So I'm going to do 2 of each pattern that I have. So here you can see that I have started on the second pattern, and I'm just using the previous patterns that I had as a guide to cut out more mask. I've already made a mask out of this print that was sold. So I'm just showing you guys. I don't advise cutting out on glass, so I'm trying to be very careful. As careful as I can. Let's see, we'll go this way. Alright. So I have those 2 prints cut out. These 2 prints cut out. I'm gonna go ahead and use this pattern here. So a lot of times after you've already cut out your initial pattern, you don't need to keep using it if you don't want to. You can even use the fabric you cut out as a pattern to cut other things out. So I often do that just to make things go a little faster because the fabric is softer than paper. So it's a little bit easier to work with. So if you have scraps like this, you can just toss those out. So this is our next print that I'm gonna cut out. I'm gonna try to move it up so you guys can see. And I'm using the previous pattern, just flipping it over so it's not like pattern overload on your eyes. And I'm just gonna go ahead and cut this one out. This is a really cool pattern. And then you have your two mask pieces. When you cut out your lining, they're gonna be the exact same as your outer fabric. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut out the last two fabrics that we have here, and then I will be back to show you how to sew everything together. So here are all the masks that I cut out and I'm about to sew together. I had a customer who wanted 10, so I cut out 2 of each print, and I'm going to show you how to do the interfacing. You cut the interfacing the exact same way that you cut out the pattern pieces, and then you also cut the lining the same way. So I'm just going to do one showing you how to do the interfacing, ironing it on, and then cutting out the pattern for it, and finally putting it together. Now that I have all the pieces pretty much cut out except for the lining, I'm going to show you how I interface. So you cut the interfacing out to match the pattern exactly. And what you want to do is get your pattern with your interfacing and a small towel. You're going to place your fabric on top of the towel with your interfacing on top, and you want to make sure the interfacing, the bumpy side, is facing down on the inside, which is the wrong side of the fabric. You want to take your iron and put it on cotton if you have one of these irons, a little bit of steam, and what you're going to do, make sure it's close to the edge. If it's hanging over the edge, it's okay because you're going to end up cutting that anyway. You just want to press down for a couple seconds and then roll it off like so. And make sure everything is nice and smooth. A little bit of steam, not too much. And then you have your interfacing that is now adhered to your fabric. So you want to do that for all your pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for you guys. Okay guys, so I decided to, instead of using the satin for lining, I'm going to go ahead and just use muslin because it is 100% cotton. It's breathable and it is more along with the guidelines for making the mask that they are 100% cotton. And the interfacing will serve as a filter, and they are also going to be washable. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out all the muslin pieces just like the pattern pieces that we cut out for the mask, so that they match, and then I'll show you what those look like after we've sewn them together. Okay, so I have all of the muslin cut out with each piece of the top fabric, so I'm going to go ahead and sew all these together under the machine like so. I'm just going to use one color thread, and it'll be this light blue one because it'll pretty much go with the majority of what I'm doing. So I'm gonna go ahead and sew that. So that is going to be the inside. This is going to be the inside of the mask. which is the lining. Put that there, and then this is the outer part. The outer part. So what you're gonna do is take the lining and the outer part. It's called bussing the seam. Please excuse my nails. Quarantine got it looking crazy. All right, so you're gonna pin it there so the seams match up. And then you're gonna pin this all the way to both edges. You have both sides pinned down. What I like to do is take my elastic, cut it into a 6-inch strip, and then I'm gonna put it here and here and make sure it's on the inside, so when I flip it, it'll be on the outside. So when I put my elastic here, it's gonna be sewn down this way. But when I go to do the other side, I'm actually gonna leave this side open. So I have an opening in order to flip it inside out. Pretty much like a pillowcase. So I'll show you what that looks like. So I've cut my 6-inch strips. So what you do, you put it inside of here. And you're gonna have this side. You wanna have a little bit hang like that. And you're gonna put a pin there. And I oftentimes like to tack it so it doesn't move before I sew it down and reinforce it. But you want it to be bright, flush up to that edge. Like that. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is just force that so it stays and it doesn't move while I'm sewing. There's also an easier way to do your elastic for your ears. You can go ahead and pin it on the sides and tack it before you add your lining. Alright guys, so I have sewn all the way around the mask except for this opening because I'm going to flip it inside out. What you do is pillowcase it and then you flip it, pushing all this inside. And you're going to pull it out like this. So your strap should be on the corners of each side. This is where what goes around your ear. Iron it so it's nice and smooth. Some people like to top stitch it. I don't necessarily like to top stitch it. I'm just gonna iron it flat. Now, when it comes to this part, you're gonna fold it on both sides inward like this. Just want to make sure your corners are also in, so it's flush to the corner. Also good to grab some pins while you do that. Just flush to the corner, on the corner. You want to make sure your lining is a little bit shorter and not over the edge. And then it looks like that. And then this is the only side that I do top stitch. After you have top stitched it, you can then iron it and then your mask will be complete. So this is the completed mask. I've ironed it. And I just had to pin it on her because she doesn't have ears like an actual human since she's a mannequin, but this is what it looks like. And I'm gonna finish making the rest. I hope that this tutorial helped you guys a lot. If you would like to sew at home, you now have a guideline to do so. If you would like to purchase a mask from me, you can do so on my website at jasminerene.com/shop. You can also follow me on Instagram at jasminerene.studio. And if you have any questions, you can email me at orders@jasminerene.com. Thank you.